Israeli occupation forces' murder of the Palestinian citizens in their own villages and towns continues without any end appearing in the horizon. Just 3 days ago, Israeli occupation killed Jamal Abu Ayyash from the small Palestinian village of Beta near Nablus. And 1 day later, the same murderers broke into the very heart of the city of Nablus and killed Jamil al-Kayyal. Israel kills the Palestinians for the sake of killing and to perpetuate the abnormal, to reiterate its norm of no way to let the Palestinians live in peace on their own land. Abu Ayyash was shot while he was participating in a peaceful protest against the Israeli occupation taking over of his village's pasture and mountains. He was not holding a gun or posing any threat to the Israeli occupation soldiers. Jamil al-Kayyal was killed in the very heart of Nablus city, which is under full Palestinian Authority control according to the agreement signed between the PLO and Israel under the World Community sponsorship. But Israel is determined to kill Palestinians to keep grief and sorrow, the main feature of the Palestinian family faces and the landscape of all of occupied Palestine. The Israeli occupation government neither respects the Palestinians' right to life nor any of the basic human rights, ordering its military forces to break into Birzeit University near Ramallah and causing damage to the university campus in violation of all international human rights conventions and declarations. The Israeli occupation government went many steps further in perpetuating terrorism and violence against the Palestinians by training Israeli settlers armed militias to assault Palestinian citizens and their property. Today, while you're traveling from one Palestinian town to another, you never know when the Israeli terrorists or settlers, as there is no difference, would shoot at your car or build it with stones. All that you know as a Palestinian is that you have no minimum security in your own land because you have about 800,000 Israeli settlers who are allowed to hold weapons and terrorize you with no punishment at all. Look, Israeli violence and terror and murder of the Palestinians is nothing new. Just a week ago, the Israeli newspaper of Haaretz published the classified documents of massacres committed by the Israeli colonial regime against the Palestinian people during the Nakba of 1948, when thousands of Palestinians were murdered, hundreds of thousands were exiled, and hundreds of villages were burned. And some Israeli officials who were occupying senior posts within the Israeli armed groups at that point of time issued statements leaving no room for doubt that Israeli leaders knew in real time about the blood-drenched events that accompanied the conquest of the Palestinian villages. Israeli Minister Hayem Moshe Shapiro said that all of Israel's moral foundations had been undermined. Minister David Remes remarked that the deeds that had been done removed Israel from the category of Jews and from the category of human beings altogether. Mordechai Pentov wondered what kind of Jews would be left in Israel after the 1948 Nakba. Aharon Zisling related that he had had a sleepless night. The criminals, the Israeli colonizers, said were striking at the soul of the Israeli government. They called for investigation into the crimes and massacres committed, but nothing was done. Today it's different. Not only nothing is done, today Israeli officials encourage and support the Israeli forces and settlers who kill Palestinians. And we saw how Israeli officials praised the Israeli occupation forces who executed Muhammad Shawkat Salima in occupied Jerusalem just days ago. Thanks for watching.